Do I have to declutter this? I don't know how I'm feeling about this right now. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a very barefaced start to this video. I don't usually start videos like this, so I'm a little uncomfortable. I have on some base makeup because today I am super duper excited to go through an entire drugstore shopping spree that I have done behind the scenes to kind of prepare for this video. I have been wanting to try some of the new stuff at the drugstore, but also some stuff that, you know, maybe I've not tried the formula in a while. Maybe I needed some refreshing in my beauty space with drugstore makeup items, and I'm so excited about everything that is in front of me. Some things I have already started to test, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna be good. And some things I am so stoked about. So I wanted to just do a full get ready with me on camera while I trial and test some of this drugstore makeup. And let's go through it together. Grab your tea, grab your snack, grab your water, get comfy, put it in a fun little glass or container, and let's get into this get ready with me. Cheers! As you can tell, I already have on some foundations and concealers. And yes, they are drugstore, but they're not new to me, so I'm not gonna dive into those. We have a lot to go through today. And the way I need to powder down this face, and I need to right up front before any creasing happens, I wanted to try more from the CoverGirl Clean Fresh line. I have a few things in my collection, and I purchased some more because I'm really curious if this Clean Fresh line is going to be good for all day wear. Is it gonna work for my skin? Everyone is really leaning into that clean, fresh makeup look right now. And it's summertime, so that gets you kind of excited for more clean, show the freckles type makeup, which has really been the vibe the past few years. So this powder, I got the shade 120 Fair. It does come with a little puff, but I do usually use a brush for this type of powder, and I go usually right under the eyes and down the nose with it. You guys know I'm already in love and obsessed and have gone through so many of my CoverGirl Advanced Radiance powders. Like the pan on here is ridiculous, and that tells you I am a lover of this, but I'm also really picky, and it was really hard for me to even justify in my mind at the drugstore why I would want to try something else when I know this works so great for me. Super creamy, you can layer it, but it doesn't look cakey on your face. It looks great. I have tried this a few times, the Clean Fresh, and literally over the weekend, Adam looked at me and said, "Are you doing a different foundation?" And that day I really was, but it wasn't drugstore. And he goes, I think you look cakey. I'm sorry, but you do. And I was like, I need the honesty. I said, but I'm also trying another powder, and this is the powder I was trying. So now I'm dissecting. You're seeing me in the testing mode. What did it? What made me look cakey? Was it the foundation that is not drugstore? So I'm going to talk about that in a different video. Or was it this? I'm honestly not sure. They claim that this CoverGirl Clean Fresh Press Powder is talc-free, and it is formulated with aloe vera, topica, and it is to absorb oils and keep shine at bay, which you know this oily skin girl loves. It's getting humid out, it's summer is coming, give me all the things. It says that this setting powder is supposed to be helping with pores, make you look like you have less pores, less shine, and look smooth, which obviously are all things we love to hear. And it's also what I know my other powder does. So what about this one? We're gonna find out. I'm going to, because I've been talking, make sure I don't have any creasing, because I've done no powdering down yet. We're gonna go in. We're going to test this. Go up a little bit here on the forehead, just kind of get the face started. Now this powder I would usually only use like where you're seeing me use it, but I am gonna start tapping it along the face too, because I really wanna be able to test this out. I also want shine to be kept at bay, all of the claims that it does. I am going to use a little bit of a face powder on top of this, but I want to see how this does today. The next drugstore item that is brand new to me is JOAH. I have never tried anything from JOAH, but I kept hearing about it, and then I saw it in my local CVS, and I was like, yes, I am in need of some brow products. Let's get into it. This product today is the JOAH Brow Down to Me Precision Brow Pencil. And it has a spoolie on one side and it has the thin tipped pencil on the other. Getting out my handy dandy mirror here. I have used this quite a few times now, and so far I am liking the creaminess. I don't know if I could use this all alone though by itself. I like to use a nice spoolie to kind of like fluff everything up after I've been using my base makeup because sometimes it covers up the brows. I have found so far this is a very creamy formula, but it's not overly creamy. Having never tried the JOAH line, I really didn't know what to expect. And for me, I'm really picky, I feel like, with some brow products because I don't want anything to be too waxy, too rough, but also have a nice shape. So I really liked this was the ultra thin one to help out with this front part of my brow. And the color works pretty well for me. This one is black brown, which goes better with my hair color. It says that this is a cream to powder color, no sharpening ever needed. And maybe that's what's so unique about this, is it's cream and then it kind of feels like it's a powder. So I'm curious, do I feel like I could just do this alone today? So I'm gonna investigate a little bit. This is supposed to be smudge proof and water resistant as well. And I can tell you at the end of the day when I'm washing my face, I do notice specifically where I've layered up the product in mid-brow, she's staying put. So in these hot, humid summer days that are coming our way, you know, we want to know what's working. I think it does blend through the brow with the spoolie nicely too. I always look more bossy until I put the rest of my makeup on. Then it starts to like balance out because I do have more of a bold brow. I think I can go on through the rest of this video without adding more. It's just like such a habit for me to layer the brows. But I want to know, can I just do this? Okay, I totally forgot. While I'm putting on some Essence blushes that I have told you guys I purchased probably a couple of months ago, I am still in the testing phase with them, I guess technically, because I go back and forth with my blushes all the time. These are just called Essence The Blush. One is in Bespoke and one is in Befitting. I forgot to tell you that when I was starting this video, I actually had to pop on something from CoverGirl that I heard Andrea Mattiliano talking about, and she was like, I love these from the Clean Fresh line from CoverGirl. These are their Clean Fresh Yummy Glosses. Mine here is in the shade Glamingo Pink, like flamingo pink, but Glamingo, which is so fun. And I live in Florida. I'm with the Floridian vibes. This is really comfortable, lippy. It's very juicy. It doesn't have too much, I would say, goopiness or terribly too much shine, but my lips needed something because I felt like I was starting so darn bare. A little flush of blush here. I like the W technique just because it's that summertime vibe of like maybe I got a little bit of sun when really I'm full on caking my face with SPF 50. I actually found an SPF 70 in my beach bag from last summer, and somebody was like, I didn't even know they made that. I'm like, it's probably, I think there is a statistic out there that's marketing because it really can't go past like a 50 SPF or something, but you know your girl has that for her face. And now I just over blushed, but that's fine. It's fine. We can blend it down a bit with just a bare brush. It's cool. I feel like because I'm testing some drugstore makeup, I need to jump back into my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Loose Powder. I used to love this and rave about it. Couldn't get it because they weren't cruelty-free. Now they're back to being cruelty-free. You've seen me use this before if you watch all of the videos, but I'm still not sold on it, quite frankly. I'm still not resold on this powder compared to some others, so I'm just gonna do a light finishing powder dusting here at the end of the face portion. So then we can go on to some of the fun stuff, which is the eyes. And I have so much new stuff that I just went down a rabbit hole of drugstore goodness because I got inspired by a look I saw a girl do on TikTok, but I don't even think her video was about makeup. I think it was just like something else, and I was so mesmerized by her eyes. I screen grabbed her and started buying a bunch of white, creamy products for my eyes because I was like, I need to figure out how to do this. Hold on, let me find the picture. Does anybody else have an excessive amount of screen grabs and saved photos and pictures on their phone? Like, I always have to do a clean out so regularly just because I have so much stuff on my phone and then I can't find what I need when I do things like this. I don't remember what TikTok thing this girl was doing, but that white under eye into the corner just looked so pretty. It was very mesmerizing in the video. You couldn't help but just like keep watching because you were just looking for that. And I even looked through her comments on whatever the video was about and they were like, I'm just so like mesmerized by your makeup and that liner. So I went on a little bit of a shopping spree for that and then other stuff because it was like a nude look and that was like the moment down here. And I was into it. So of course, having the too much gene, as I do, I got too many products for this one eye look, and I'm sure they could all work fine for it. I think the first time I purchased the Wet n Wild On Edge Longwearing Eye Pencil Crayon in T.M.I. It's very creamy. It definitely packs a punch. I did find though when I used it, oh no, it just broke off. So now I get to sharpen it if I use it today. I did notice when I did use it, I could build it up in the corner and it was really bright and it does shininess you want in that area if you're going for that look, if you kind of smooth her out. But there was a lot of piling on here. So I did try this and then I got an order from Colourpop. You can't necessarily get the whole line from Target now, but you can still order stuff and they're super affordable. I got their Colourpop Shadow Stick in the shade Cold Girl. This also really packs a punch, but look how much more like opacity you get. And then you can kind of still buff her down. Like this is the Wet n Wild pencil. This is a very reflective piece that I really was hoping for. And I've heard some really good things about their shadow sticks and I love and have raved about for years the Wet n Wild singles. I love the shade Creme Brulee. I've always thought it was so good. So of course, when I was on this white hunt, I also got a single shadow in the shade Sugar from Wet n Wild. And because I have the too much gene, I also bought a Super Shock shadow in the shade Tassel. I love Super Shock shadows. I don't always remember to pull them out though, so I really thought this could be nice for this summer for like the inner corner, this eyeliner effect I'm looking for. I have not even swatched this yet, so let's do that. I'm excited. Oh, ho, 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 ho. She looks real pretty. Oh yeah. Oh, and this is so creamy too, so if I wanted to have a little bit more of a moment up in the corner of the eye, that would look good too. You can also layer them up. Oh, I am excited. And there's a little bit of sparkle in there, which will give those reflective properties. But no, I'm not done with telling you more about the eyeshadows that I got because I didn't just go all in with the white, which, I mean, I did go all in with the white, but I also got some palettes. I have been on the hunt for this Wet n Wild palette, Always Naked, for a while. And my drugstores just, they were never here. They had the blush one, but not the Always Naked. Because again, we're kind of going with that very fresh, clean look. So some neutral eye looks are always on the menu, at least when you are me. It is that summertime where, yeah, I'm gonna go to some of those vibrant colors, but also I'm wanting some nude options that have some nice opacity to them. I have tried this palette so far and I'm impressed because I've told you guys recently I have been trying some of their smaller bite-sized palettes and I've not been in love with them, not the way I used to be. So I was really hopeful that this bigger palette maybe had some better formulations. So we have this today. And I kind of splurged at Target. I have heard so many people talk about Sigma shadows and I have never owned one. I only very recently have been trying these shadows. I actually filmed my very first impressions of this and I'm gonna upload it pretty soon on my shorts here on YouTube, so be sure to check out my YouTube shorts from time to time because I am trying to upload there, which is still on my channel but a different feature because YouTube's trying to get all fancy and try to compete with TikTok. So, you know, I did film my first impressions with this, but I have this today to play with as well. I have no idea what eye look I want to do, but clearly I'm going to be using the whites. I'm clearly going to be going into some of these things because I am wanting to test all the things. And of course, I need to do that white eyeliner look to try to achieve it because I'm just on a mission for that. So to start today's eye look, I do prefer to start with just a very creamy base to give me something to start with. And this cream shade up here works great in the Always Naked palette. As you can see, I mean, this really does pack a punch. This has a lot of opacity to it. This is just one dip in with more of my flat fluffy brush here. You can definitely see comparatively, she has a lot of pigment and that's what I was hoping for, was a smooth, creamy pigment that I just wasn't getting from the smaller ones. So far this mid-size is working pretty well. I didn't even go back into the palette. I'm just using the same amount that I had on the brush from this first eye. A little bit of fallout on the face because maybe I did too much. It is a looser powder formula, but it's because it's so pigmented. Think of like the Anastasia Beverly Hills, how she's got a lot of dust, a lot of kick up in the pan, but it's because she spreads really well and she's got a lot of pigment to her. I'm gonna start with just a little bit of a creamy matte shade here just to kind of show you, yes, there is some fallout, some kickback like I mentioned, but I'm curious how much this very nude shade will give some pigment on that very cream shadow that I just laid down. It's very nude based. It's very much my skin tone. Maybe a little less pigment than you may be thinking, considering how much I just got with that first one. You definitely see the buildup in the crease for sure. Now I want to dive into this Ivy eyeshadow palette from Sigma. I want to come over here to this matte shade called Mead. It's a little bit more warm toned. Also has a little bit of kickback, but not as much. Warm up this eye look. This shadow, I don't feel like I need a bunch on the brush either to really show up. Now I'm sitting here looking at the swatches on my hand to go, which way do I want to go when I start that inner corner kind of going into the eyeliner look? And then do I want to put the lid on top? I think I am going to take a little bit of this deeper bourbon shade right here on a thinner tipped brush here and just kind of do a little bit of this outer corner. These aren't as pigmented like Pow Pow, like you could definitely layer them up so that way they blend well with other things. I was worried I was gonna have too much on this brush, but it's definitely allowing me to build it and kind of mold it where I want it to go. I have used just this palette alone, obviously, since I've already filmed my first impression with it, and I do think it blends well. Looking at my Muse photo here, it looks like it's all white liner under here into the corner, and it kind of works its way up. So I'm gonna start with that vibe so I can achieve the look I think I'm going for. I'm gonna try to go for. I'll be able to let you know how this sharpens now for the Wet n Wild pencil. Beautiful. I think I'm gonna start with the Wet n Wild pencil just to kind of like start where I want it to go. I will say this looks really chunky in here. It's less in the waterline, it's very chunky. This feels a little like it's breaking apart, so I do need to layer a bit, and that's kind of why when I started with this as my solution to make this eye look, I realized quickly this isn't going to be just enough. I'm gonna need more, which is why I also got some other tools to use to achieve the look. Colourpop also has some great liners as well. I have their creamy one that's more nude shade, and they're also inexpensive. Yeah, it's looking pretty choppy and like chunky. I'm gonna take a brush and just kind of smooth everything out with a brush here. Yeah, I don't think this is the best solution for me. So we persevere on, and I'm actually considering using this Wet n Wild single as well. I'm going to use the Colourpop for certain, but I kind of just want a nice base, so I think this will stay longer. Just pop here into this single. I loved their singles for so long. Pick up in the pan, which I kind of thought it would because it's pigmented. I feel like it's giving me some vibrancy. It doesn't look so cute up close right now. So I am gonna go in with my Colourpop stick here. The color stick for this section. Maybe bring her up here. I don't know how well this would do here, but it keeps pulling off in this section, so I'm gonna try. That added some brightness right in that center area. What could it be if I do a little bit of this? Is she doing too much? Of course she is. She's me. Sometimes I get more products and I just want to play with all the things, and I'm the problem here. I think I'm gonna go back into the Sigma palette here, into this Inspire creamy shimmery shade. I'm gonna go in there with my finger. I always find my finger gives me the best shimmer opacity, the best blend on the eye. It's easy to apply, you have a lot of control, but also you get more build, you get more pigment, and that works best for me. Should I have tried all those whites down there so we know what would work and what wouldn't? Of course, I should not have used all four. But did I get curious because in person it was looking a little crunchy in areas from the powders? Yes. So I think next time I would just do more of the creamy stick. But right now I'm still loving playing and experimenting. This Colourpop Shadow Stick I feel like did a really good job, as well as obviously a Super Shock Shadow is amazing. The pencil I feel like it was kind of crumbly in that inner waterline, and it definitely didn't last the last time I used it. That's kind of why I wanted to go on top of it with this powder to see if I could make it work. But I think the Colourpop products would have worked just fine without those. So I know that now going forward, I'm going to put on some mascara. I'm going to curl my lashes, and then we're going to go on to the lips because I have something that I don't know if it's going to be good for me. Okay, the first time I tried this under eye white, kind of like blingy look with this lower liner, I tried it with the Wet n Wild, just the pencil though, and I felt like it was crumbly. It didn't really last all day, which is why I wanted to add in this white Wet n Wild powder, the little eyeshadow here, with it to think maybe it would set it. But I think going forward, I'm going to use the newer products that I just got in yesterday from Colourpop if I want to achieve a look like this again for the lower lashes and this inner corner here. I found that this Colourpop Shadow Stick did a really good job of really kind of highlighting the areas and more smoothly covering some things. I'll have to see how it does in this part of the eye, but I think the rest of this did a really good job, and the Super Shock Shadow, of course, performed over the top into the corner. I think I could go with just these, but because I had the Wet n Wild first, I wanted to give this a go because I was hungry for that eye look, and now I'm pretty happy that these worked out really well for that particular look. But all of these products are performing pretty well. This liner is a bit crumbly though, so I will say that will be on my mind the next time I go to use it from Wet n Wild. Now let's talk about some lips, because right now I still have on from the beginning of this video this amazing clean, fresh, yummy gloss. This is really yummy. I think it has lasted pretty well. It's not too goopy. It's still giving me some moisture even though I've been doing all of the makeup things. But now I've also been trying something else from the Clean Fresh line that is a little bit more colored, a little bit more pigmented, and it is the Clean Fresh Tinted Lip Balm in the shade Made for Peach. And honestly, I've not found this very comfortable. I found that when I do use it, and for some reason I'm putting it on now on top of the other Clean Fresh product that I am liking from the Yummy Gloss, this is not cutting it for me. It doesn't give a lot of coverage, which is fine because it's just a tinted lip balm, but then it's not giving me the hydration on my lips. It kind of feels like, not that it's pulling the moisture out, it just doesn't feel as comfortable as the Yummy Gloss, which is honestly what made me kind of curious, is this Clean Fresh line any good? But I'm so glad that I did try this Yummy Gloss because I do want to get more of this, maybe in some other colors because they do have a variety of colors. This though, like on top of the Yummy Gloss, maybe it's not so bad right now that I have it on like this. Yeah, it's not as bad. It's not pulling as much. It is a bit messy though. I do find it kind of like gets outside of the lines alone without the Yummy Gloss, mind you. So not sure I'm in love with this tinted lip balm. I'm not sure I could fully recommend this just yet, but I can recommend the Yummy Gloss. But I have two things here that I wanted to love and try new stuff from new lines that I haven't ever tried before. So I did purchase the JOAH T.M.I Velvet Lip Color. This is in the shade Messy Hair. And now looking at this color on the bottle, I thought I knew what I was getting into. However, I kind of found I really wasn't when I went to try it for the first time. It's actually way more red based than it is mauve based, I think. At least that's how it really pulls on my skin. And I just really wasn't loving the color, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna overlook that. The day that I tried it, I had a nude eye look on, so what I ended up doing was just warming it up a little bit with some shadows. No big deal, right? Well, then there comes to the velvety formula. I've had some velvet formulas that I really have enjoyed and loved, but I'm not so sure I love this one. So let's go ahead and let's try it. And I have another lippy here that I may be pulling on camera anyway, because it is new and it's from Colourpop and I just got it in. It's new, but it's a throwback formula that I didn't even know they still made. But first we're gonna set ourselves up for success. We're gonna do just a little liner. Got the pout ready for this. It just definitely looks way more berry red than the component. So when I thought this is what I was getting, I was like, oh, that's different. And it kind of starts to look like a stain at first, and then it starts to oxidize more and more and get redder. I'm letting this sit right now, and it's kind of looking more and more like a stain, and it's not looking maybe 100% even. So I feel the need to go back in and layer to kind of get a little bit more of a even pull. It says that this is infused with lip conditioning and hydrating rose hip oil. Well, that would explain the floral scent. It also smells a little bit like suntan lotion, and I don't know why I think that, but that's the scent that comes to my brain. Color that glides on like cream and dries to a velvety, soft, matte finish, which sounds ideal and like stuff that I've liked in the past, which is why I purchased this. They have a good looking line of colors. I just kind of wish I would have been, that there was something more available in more the lighter tone, because I don't generally really ever lean to a red lip unless it's like a bold look I'm going for, which maybe today, maybe, I don't know. I don't think it looks bad on. It just feels less comfortable than I had anticipated. Looking at some of the reviews, and a lot of people were loving it, saying you only needed one coat. I think if you kind of like more that lip stain look, that may work for you, but for some reason that lip stain look almost feels incomplete on me, or maybe I just wasn't loving the way that this was drying down on me. It does transfer. I was just doing a little sip-a-rooski test. Although any glosses and stuff are always going to do that too. So it's like, for me, that's not a deal breaker. Just kind of filling you in on how the formula is working. People are saying it keeps their skin soft. I'm looking through the reviews as I'm sitting here, just kind of letting it absorb. For me, I feel it's got some movement to it on top, but underneath, I'm not feeling like the comfortableness that I was expecting for this. Feels a little tight. I don't know. I'm going to have to play with this some more. Not totally in love with the finish of how this feels, but I like how it's looking now that it's had some time to sit down. I do just wish it was a little bit more of this color than a red color. I think that threw me as well. But I do want to tell you about something else, so I'm going to take this off because I am just going to throw you back to some old school nostalgia. Okay, I was right with the lip stain vibes, which can be good because some people like a lip stain. I don't dislike a lip stain, but it is definitely not coming off super easily. But that also means, for me, I like that. I like that. So that's actually a point in its favor that it is lasting, because that means like through eating and drinking and throughout the day, as I'm doing stuff, it's gonna at least give me some kind of tint. So actually that's a plus for me. But I have to throw it back. I told you guys in my lip collection declutter, I'm doing a full makeup declutter video series right now. If you missed it on my channel, I'll have some videos linked above, down below, all the things for you. I showed you guys how I'm missing a piece of makeup that I know not everybody loves anymore, because the world has gone to glosses and this clean, fresh vibe, but your girl still wants a lip product that stays, which is why I'm not mad about this part right now. But I wish it was a little bit of a lighter color. I found out that Colourpop is still doing their ultra matte lipsticks, but I know some people don't love those, but I am, and I saw the shade Times Square on their website, and I was like, I'm sorry, what? You still make this? I really wish they still made Aquarius, which was a collaboration with Kathleen Lights. The Aquarius 2 is what I still have in my collection, and I compare with swatches. Oh, I can compare with swatches today. Oh my gosh, we're doing this together. I can already tell that the Aquarius 2 is going to be lighter in shade, but you know, we're not terribly far off. We're still in the nude persuasion here, because this one is the shade Times Square. Let's just do some quick swatching, and then I'm gonna put it on for you. Now keep in mind, I do have this base down, which I didn't know was gonna stain, so again, not mad about that though. But my lips are feeling dry. So this right here is Aquarius 2. This one is kind of like a dusty rose, dusty mauve shade, and it dries to be a bit deeper. I have gotten so many compliments on this lip color for years and years. The Aquarius shade was a bit lighter than this, had less of maybe like a purple base to it. It had that more brown base, so it was even more nude, and it just made your lips look huge. It gave you a great pout. I miss this formula simply because I do miss the wearability, the long-term wear use of lip products. I know glosses are the vibe right now, and they're on trend, and that's kind of what everybody's making and wearing, but I do miss being able to like deal with all my meetings, go to lunch, and not have to reapply a million different times. I loved their formula because it also wasn't overly drying with matte, although some people would argue with me on that. I know, I've had worse. This is, what is it called again? Times Square. That had so many amazing reviews on it. I was like, let's learn about this. Oh my gosh, why does this look similar? Why does this look the same right now? Why does this look the same? Girl, is it the same and they just changed the name, but why does it look paler in this tube? I'm confused. Because I have been told Colourpop is known to bring stuff back and just change the name. Okay, I'm seeing a little bit difference as they're drying down, but not a ton. Oh, I told you guys I'd keep you posted on this, and I meant it. Yeah, these are not too far off. The sun just went behind some clouds, so I've got a little less light right now, so I hope you can tell that, yeah, this one looks a bit more rosy toned. This one has still a little bit more of a purple base to it, but not mad about it. I'm also still really not mad about how this is looking. So honestly, the JOAH is growing on me more. I just may try it in other colors. This is why I'm doing these tests with y'all. All right, I'm gonna put on Times Square. And yeah, I will probably put that gloss on top because it is a matte liquid lip, and that'll juice up the color and the plumpness of the lips. I feel like their formula is so smooth and creamy at Colourpop that also I can do that. I can put on the lip, even go a little over the lip line, you know, we're giving ourselves that more juicy pout, and then put on some gloss on top, and then everything still looks smooth though. There are some matte liquid lips that were not smooth, you couldn't really go with your skin as much, and they were more expensive. I don't even need more. Like, this was like one and done. I was gonna go back in, I don't need to. Everyone's got different preferences. I know liquid lips are not the vibe for everyone anymore, but I still love a lasting lip look because so many times in the day when I'm just using glosses and lip liners, even when I fill in my lips with a lip liner, I constantly struggle with like being midday and then realizing I still have a full great beat on my face maybe, but my lips look bare. So I'm always going back to reapply that, and it gets annoying sometimes. Sometimes your girl just wants the full beat all day without having to work too much for it. I'm tired. Let's go back into the yummy gloss. Look at her, she's just so juicy. I can go right on top of this. Let's see. This has a good smell. It's like a fruity, juicy smell. So summer vibes. And it gives the lips that hydration back. It gives you that pout. I'm into it. I know that's a little old school, but so is probably doing the white in the corners again and like underneath. I'm not sorry. Sometimes you just want to have fun with makeup, and that's okay. Guys, I am so excited for all of this drugstore makeup that I'm playing with. Now there's one more thing though that I need to do to finish the face, and I've told you in not that long ago of Faves and Fails, I did try this again and I wasn't loving it, but I'm gonna give it another go because this is a full drugstore moment. Let's go back to our Wet n Wild friend for the Natural Finish Photo Focus Setting Spray. This was what I used to say, and I really believed at the time was really good and just like the Urban Decay All-Nighter. But I was finding, at least with the makeup I was using, it would look really not good midday, and I wasn't used to that. So we're gonna see. We're trying some different stuff today. I'm gonna let all this sit down and I'm gonna give you some final thoughts. I have not sprayed again, and I've been sitting here for a few minutes and I'm still feeling shiny and there's some tingling going on. I don't remember that of this product at all. For all day wear, maybe it's just really sinking her in. I'm hoping the shininess kind of goes away, which it usually does with a setting spray once it starts to absorb in, because it's making all of the makeup one right now. How are the brows? How do we feel about the brows? Are the brows dark enough? It's always hard to gauge because by the time you guys see this, I have to do some coloration because I film in front of natural light. But let's see here. Actually, I'm also looking at the powder under the eyes from CoverGirl. I'm looking at all the things right now, honestly, because Adam had said I looked really cakey that one day, and I was like, is it the powder? Is it the foundation I was using? That's a higher end one. Things are looking smooth, I will say. Things are looking smooth. I'm loving the eye look right now. I'm loving how this blends. It's not like a liner that's like sharp and intentional. It's more highlighting. It's bringing the eye to this piece of my makeup slash face. And in person, it does look much brighter. I will say I can see how the pencil in the waterline has definitely made some of this fall apart and doesn't look as smooth or nice as like this piece here. So I'm thinking that Wet n Wild liner is maybe not the best for me personally and my skin. So I'm thinking, kind of big, but can I use this here? Let's see. Also, some people just can't keep, you know, some people have waterier eyes than others. It happens. I'm still looking really like tacky shiny. Do I have to declutter this? I don't know how I'm feeling about this right now. On a regular non-filming day, I think I could get away with these brows. The sun has gone behind the clouds right now. But in person, I feel like once I layered up this JOAH Precision Brow Pencil, it's a brow down to me from JOAH, I think it did a really good job, and I was doing a lot of things to the makeup. I was even doing a lot of different powders on the lids, which sometimes that can kind of go up into the brows and you're like, oh no, do I need to fix things? This still feels like a very solid brow for me. In person, I know sometimes it can look a little bit lighter or a little bit even sparse on the occasion when I'm doing editing after I've got to do some coloration. I think in person this looks pretty good. So I'm excited about learning more about JOAH because the products that I have used have impressed me in their own ways. I wish that the JOAH lipstick would have been more the color of the tube, because to me that really became way more red toned, and I'm worried I wouldn't use it unless I was wiping it all off to just look like that lip stain vibe. I was not mad about that. I could definitely use less, obviously, but then it felt like that stain wasn't very even, and maybe is that a look? I don't know, but I was not as upset about this JOAH Velvet T.M.I lip color as I was originally, but it was because as soon as I put it on, I was like, why is it so red? Why is it red? I want to try maybe another color of this, but not bad. I do feel like this was kind of drying on me though, so that is what kind of pulled me away from wanting to do that, because a velvet lip is still malleable on top, that if you're putting on a gloss on top, it's not always as easy as a liquid lipstick. The brow product though, really like it. And as I keep testing things, I'll let you guys know in my upcoming faves and fails, what are some like more final thoughts, because this is me testing things currently. I'm in the throes of it right now and taking you with me. So stay tuned for that end of month video where I give you more updates, because I'm sure a lot of these, if not all of them, will be there. CoverGirl Fresh Clean line. I've got 3 different things here that I've been trying. This one I've been trying for a lot longer than these 2. I'm not so sure I can recommend the Tinted lip balm. I've found that it doesn't really do it for me personally, but it, you know, everyone's different strokes, different folks. I haven't found it to be the most comfortable lip balm I've had, and it gets kind of messy on the lips for me personally. Love this. Loving the Yummy Gloss. I've really found this hydrates. I have worn it alone. I have worn it with, obviously, some color on my lips. If you're curious what it looks like just alone, which you did see in the beginning of this video, it does have a tint to it, but my lips are already pretty pigmented. So if you don't have any pigment to your lips, this is the color that I currently have, the Glamingo pink shade, and it lasts too. It's lasted through this whole video. Had to take it off to do other things. Really excited about this. I honestly thought this Clean Fresh powder was the problem the other day when Adam said I was cakey, but the under eyes are looking pretty good, and I did use it a little bit all over the face. Yes, you saw me do another set down with some Wet n Wild, but the base, this was like for the ending. This was for the base where things could have broken apart, and they're really not. They're looking fine. I'm really distracted with how shiny my face looks right now though from this natural setting spray. This isn't the dewy one. This isn't the matte one either. So maybe I need to try, instead of the natural, maybe I need to go back to the matte and see if that's actually more like my favorite Urban Decay all-nighter. Because I have stopped using this, reused it for this video to kind of give myself another go with it, and I'm really distracted with how shiny I'm looking. I was not expecting that. I don't even have highlighter on today, you guys. There's not highlighter on this face. So that was all this natural setting spray. This isn't natural for me. Well, I guess, I mean oily, but I have powders on. Yeah, this is not good for me personally. I'm gonna try the matte next time. I think this powder is working well. Stay tuned, be subscribed. I'm gonna keep you updated on the Clean Fresh powder. Because you know I'm a diehard for my Advanced Radiance powder. That one is gonna be hard for me to pull away from. So it's not like an instant winner, but it's not bad. So far, so good. I kind of just want to powder down really quickly because I can't take how shiny this is looking. You know what? How does this work for doing some touch-ups? Let's find out, because I'm feeling the shine, and I don't like when this part of my face shines. I feel like it just doesn't look right. It looks oily. Oh, my face even feels tacky now. Yeah, I'm done with that setting spray. I don't like this. You know what? I didn't think I was gonna do this in this video. I really was just gonna be testing things, but because I've been testing this particular drugstore item for a while, it's going in here. That is making me really sticky, and I think I need to use more powder on other parts of my face because I don't like this. Let's try this loose powder. I'm not getting rid of this powder yet. Now, you guys know I do have a powder declutter coming for part of my makeup collection. And this is, you know, a contender to be on the chopping block. So today's makeup will maybe push me over the edge one way or the other. Do I keep her? Do I get rid of her? Because I got a lot. Like 3 caddies full, a whole drawer, nothing but powders. So I gotta be serious and ruthless with these upcoming cuts. I was not sure how I was honestly feeling about these Essence blushes. I've had them in my collection for maybe a few months now, but I've only touched into them so many times. So being able to jump back into them, I used this one today, the Be Fitting, and I think this one is really nice. I think I used the other one last time. So this one over here that's a little bit darker toned that I thought would go well because I like a blush that can go well with my bronzers because I'm more of a bronzy girl. This one is called Bespoke, but you can clearly see the shimmer on this. Not that it's sparkly, but compared to this matte one over here that's called Be Fitting, it definitely has some different properties. This one has a lot more illumination to it, and I had no clue because when you look at it in the actual pan itself, this is Bespoke that has the shimmer, and this is Be Fitting that doesn't have the shimmery look. In the pan, like when you're just putting your brush in, you wouldn't notice. But I've had my fingers in these just now, and I'm like, oh, that's the difference I'm seeing. While I think they both have a healthy glow to them, this one that's darker definitely looks more shimmery on the skin, and that's what I've used in the past, and I was like, oh, I don't like that. It looks like I have highlighter up here, which is why I didn't like when that setting spray is making me look glowy here. It does not look good on my pores or my skin. But this pinker one over here, Be Fitting, is on my face today. She has some, you know, healthy glow to her, but nothing like this shimmeriness right here from what I can tell in person. And on the skin, it doesn't look like a highlighter. It just looks nice and smooth. You don't see any pores. She looks nice and clean. So good to know that I have a preference for the Essence blushes. I'm learning things with you. Wet n Wild, now that I'm getting to play with you again, I'm enjoying you. However, I am still on the fence about which products are going to be worth your dollars because this palette is so good. Now this one is a little bit more pricey though. Now this palette is $9.99, so this isn't one of their small $4 palettes or $3 palettes, but this is going to be, I think, worth the splurge. I played with her a little bit on and off for a couple of weeks now, and I like this. I think that this is quality. Now I'm going to be investigating more of the other shades soon, so stay tuned. The single, I always think their singles are really quality if it is what you're needing. This liner I'm less in love with. It's nice to have a white liner. I know that the NYX white liner used to be my go-to favorite, but I really wanted to, you know, seek out more Wet n Wild to test what's working, what's not. I'm not in love with this, and as you saw, definitely not in love with the finishing setting spray that's in the natural version. I'm gonna need to try the matte again, I think, because I mean, who needs dewy when that gave me that much dew and I had to powder down? So hit or miss with some Wet n Wild products, but you know, that happens. It's very, very affordable, and we love that. I had not done a Colourpop order in a while. I had done some Colourpop shopping since they are at Target now, and I love that. I did not love a palette that I used from them more recently. I did talk about it in my declutter. I'll mention it really quickly, really quickly. The Deja Brew is something I got from Target, and I don't find these to be as good as some of their other formulas that I have received in their 9 pans. Some of them, it's just kind of hit or miss sometimes with Colourpop these days. This one, still in my collection, because I'm still trying it. I just got it not that long ago, but not really loving this one personally, even though it's a color story I clearly am vibing with because we're in that clean girl nudish time. But a Super Shock Shadow can be so fun, and it definitely livened up this inner corner for me. I have a decent amount of them, not a ton anymore because I kind of have to clean them out from time to time because they'll dry out. But I really like this, and I am always on the hunt. They used to have this pearlized Super Shock Shadow that they had in a collab with Amanda Steele, that they have not done something like it again, and I'm always on the hunt. So I'm literally always on their website looking at their Super Shock Shadows. And this Shadow Stick, I really was not sure what to expect with the Shadow Stick, but I am loving this. This reminds me a lot of a more expensive, luxurious brand that I have in my collection. This reminds me of the Laura Mercier, what is this, the Caviar Stick? Yeah, the Caviar Eye Color Stick. This kind of reminds me of this. I need some more time to play with it because I said I just got this in. So give me some more time to kind of compare and contrast, but I don't know if it's a dupe, but it's pretty good quality. So stay tuned when I get to try it on some more. And the fact that I could do a throwback with a lippy that is gonna last me all day, I can pop a gloss on over it and go, I still every now and again want a long-lasting matte liquid lip. I prefer them to have a little bit more hydration to them or be a little bit more comfortable. And I have found that line to be that sometimes. Sometimes. I can't say all of their mattes are because I'm still getting reintroduced to them. And I love that I got to have a throwback of their matte liquid lips. I didn't know they still sold them even because I missed them. They used to have more of a hydrating line that was still in the matte liquid lip formula, but it was like the hydrating version. Oh my gosh. I mean, is that what this is now? Because I know that they reformulate things and rename things, but I'm really excited to get to have this again because I need something that lasts. Your girl likes to be able to drink and eat through the day and not have to apply a million times. And I cannot forget trying Sigma for the first time. I have tried this now for a little bit. I'm still going to be uploading that shorts as I told you, but I'm finding this to be super blendable, creates really nice looks. I'm curious to try more of the line. I've heard their brushes are fantastic. I've never tried any of their brushes. I just happened to come across this in Target and was like, I need to try this. It's a little bit pricier, but I think it could be worth it if the color story really speaks to you. And some of these are really beautiful. Like I have this on my lid today. I have tried this on my lid and it is a gorgeous green shade. So yummy. So I have definitely been playing with these shadows for a while and I think they perform and last really well. Tell me what you guys are loving at the drugstore. Are there lines out there that maybe you want to try or you just rave about and can't stop recommending? Tell your girl because I am on a drugstore kick right now. I'm wanting to try so much more, do some wear tests, and I'm going to let you know in my monthly faves and fails, where are these falling now? You already saw me declutter one thing, which I did not anticipate to happen. So stay tuned. Thank you guys so much. And if you do happen to be new here, hi new friends. I really hope you take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on all of the upcoming videos I'm talking about. I have to finish up this declutter series and we've got some fun faves and fails coming. Bye friends.